Welcome to Cineights, where you get to know the best movies and series. Today's video is about good movies to watch during a stressful time. I hope you enjoy this video. Be sure to watch until the end because I am sure you will like it. Please subscribe to the channel and like the video. Big 1988. What could be more soothing than a Tom Hanks movie? Almost every film the actor has starred in is like a warm hug, including the 1988 comedy drama, Big. When a 12-year-old boy called Josh makes a wish on a fortune teller machine to be big, he awakes the next morning to discover that he has aged overnight and is now a fully grown man. After his mom kicks him out, and he is forced to move to the city, Josh discovers that being an adult isn't all it's cracked up to be. Lots of laughs and even more heart. Big is a charmingly sweet film all about growing up. Warm and imaginative, the film is a celebration of childhood and a reminder that life doesn't have to be mundane and gray. It can be fun if you let it. Tom Hanks is on top form as a child stuck inside a man's body, delivering a tender and surprisingly relatable performance. Overall, Big is the antithesis of stress. The giant piano scene alone is enough to make you forget your worries. Spirited Away 2001. Studio Ghibli's Oscar-winning animation, Spirited Away, is the perfect slice of escapist fantasy. The film revolves around 10-year-old Chihiro who, upon moving to a new neighborhood with her family, stumbles across the fantastical world of Kami. After encountering all kinds of spirits and gods, and following her parents being transformed into pigs, Chihiro sets out to find a way back to the real world. Sometimes stress can overwhelm us and leave us yearning to escape this world. While that might not actually be possible, Spirited Away is the next best thing. With its beautifully mesmerizing animation style, surreal imagery, and fantastic score, the film is both uniquely original and oddly comforting. It's also the kind of film that you can watch again and again and spot something new each time. Uplifting and calming, Spirited Away is an intoxicating watch that'll hit the right spot. Scott Pilgrim vs. the World 2010. Based on Brian Lee O'Malley's graphic novel of the same name, Edgar Wright's Scott Pilgrim vs. the World follows 22-year-old Scott Pilgrim who begins a relationship with the girl of his dreams, Ramona Flowers. Unfortunately, he soon learns that dating her comes with a price. He must first defeat her 7 evil exes. The film also stars Chris Evans, Aubrey Plaza, and Brie Larson, among others. Much like the comic it's based on, Scott Pilgrim vs. the World is a wildly creative and original film that's filled with great ideas from beginning to end. Offbeat humor, inventive action, and charming performances, it's a thoroughly entertaining watch that will take your mind off any real-life stresses. Like Spirited Away, the appeal of Scott Pilgrim for anyone experiencing stress is escapism factor. Ultimately, we all wish our biggest worry was which girl to date. Some Like It Hot 1959. There's something about the enduring charm of classic films that makes them feel comforting, and the 1959 comedy, Some Like It Hot, is no exception. Directed by Hollywood legend, Billy Wilder. The film follows 2 male musicians, played by Tony Curtis and Jack Lemmon, who pose as women in order to evade a group of gangsters whose crime they were witness to. While Marilyn Monroe stars as a ukulele-playing singer, with whom both men become obsessed. Some Like It Hot is an example of good old-fashioned innocent and carefree fun. Goofy in the best way possible, and endearingly funny all the way through. Featuring some career-best performances by the 3 leads, whose chemistry is palpable, the film has stood the test of time and is widely considered to be one of the best screwball comedies to have ever been made. And silly, but never dumb, Some Like It Hot is guaranteed to put a smile on anyone's face. Ocean's 11 2001. It's hard to think of a cooler film than the heist film Ocean's 11. Directed by Steven Soderbergh and starring an ensemble cast that includes George Clooney, Brad Pitt, Julia Roberts, and Andy Garcia, the film tells the story of Danny Ocean, who puts together a team of criminals in order to rob 3 Las Vegas casinos belonging to his ex-wife's new man. As well as making him a rich man, he hopes the heist will help him to win back the love of his life. Stylish, slick, and fast-paced, Ocean's 11 is one of the most engaging and watchable films of the 21st century. Real crowd pleaser, it gets almost everything right, from the witty humor to the clever editing to the excellent performances of the cast. Sometimes, stress can leave one needing reassurance and something they can rely on. Ocean's 11 is just that. With assured direction, clever twists, and more Hollywood stars than you can count, it's The Secret Life of Walter Mitty 2013. Directed by and starring Ben Stiller, The Secret Life of Walter Mitty tells the story of an asset manager at Life magazine named Walter Mitty, who feels trapped by the routine lifestyle his job has created. To combat this, Walter embarks on an imaginative adventure of epic proportions that sees him jump aboard a flying helicopter, outrun a volcano, and hike across the Himalayas. An adaptation of the book of the same name by James Thurber, the film also stars Kristen Wiig, Catherine Hahn, and Adam Scott. The Secret Life of Walter Mitty is both motivational and awe-inspiring. The beautiful cinematography and breathtaking landscapes that are showcased throughout the film help wordlessly articulate a sense of love for the planet and its inhabitants. Meanwhile, Stiller perfectly encapsulates the ethos of a man wanting more from his ordinary life. The Other Guys 2010. Some people need motivation to relieve stress, while others may just want a bit of lighthearted distraction. If the latter sounds familiar, then The Other Guys might just be the perfect film. Directed by Adam McKay, the action comedy stars Will Ferrell and Mark Wahlberg as two New York City detectives who set out to prove that they are just as good as the top officers they idolize. The movie's all-star cast also includes Dwayne Johnson, Eva Mendes, Michael Keaton, and Samuel L. Jackson. Its hilarious performances and wacky storyline, The Other Guys is filled with non-stop laughs, which is great because laughter is proven to relieve stress. It's also ridiculously rewatchable, with the humor and action holding up well after repeated viewing, time and time again. Good Will Hunting. 1997 Oscar-winning drama, Good Will Hunting tells the story of Will Hunting, a janitor at MIT who is incredibly gifted at mathematics. With the help of a psychologist named Sean, Will tries to find direction in his life and overcome past trauma. Script was written by Damon and Ben Affleck, who were propelled into the mainstream following the film's success. There's no getting away from it. Good Will Hunting is an emotional rollercoaster of a movie. Nevertheless, it's an incredibly heartwarming watch that makes the ideal complement to a night of self-care. The film is about human compassion, camaraderie, family, and overcoming difficult circumstances. It's motivational without being preachy, and emotional, but neither sentimental nor upsetting. Give your heartstrings a little tug, but the emotion exhibited throughout the film may be exactly what you need to relieve stress. Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? 2001, a highlight in acclaimed filmmakers Joel and Ethan Coen's careers. Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? Is based on Homer's epic poem The Odyssey, and follows three escaped convicts who search for a hidden treasure all the while being pursued by the law. The relatively simple story and straightforward, if whimsical, presentation keeps everything light, while charming performances from George Clooney, John Turturro, Tim Blake Nelson, and John Goodman give the story an uplifting and feel-good tone. Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? Is worth watching just for the truly wonderful folk-driven soundtrack, which is sure to lift spirits all on its own. However, the fact the film also features delightful performances by a committed cast, beautiful imagery from the great Roger Deakins, and a highly imaginative story make this the perfect thing to watch in order to relieve stress. Little Miss Sunshine. 2006. Rounding out our collection of feel-good, stress-relieving movies is Little Miss Sunshine. The movie, which was directed by Jonathan Dayton and Valerie Ferris, tells the story of the Hoover family, who are determined to get their young daughter into the finals of a beauty pageant. They are forced to take a cross-country road trip in their VW bus in order to get to the location of the competition, which leads to some hilarious moments. Steve Carell, Toni Collette, Abigail Breslin, and Paul Dano make up some of the film's stellar cast. Little Miss Sunshine is a compelling and unique story that has you coming out the other side feeling full of hope and determination. Perfectly executes its representation of a volatile but loving family dynamic, and is another film that may precipitate a few tears, but not without a simultaneous smile on your face. The Proposal. Romantic comedies are the easiest ways to distress during trying times. When publishing executive Margaret Tate faces deportation after violating her work visa, she talks her assistant, Andrew Paxton, into marrying her. Shenanigans ensue as she meets his family and both parties start developing feelings for each other. Sandra Bullock and Ryan Reynolds have amazing chemistry and excellent comedic chops. The movie also does a great job of delving into the themes of being alone and wanting a family. The Devil Wears Prada. The Devil Wears Prada follows Andrea, Andy, Sachs, a recent journalism graduate who lands a job as the junior personal assistant to Miranda Priestley, the cutthroat editor-in-chief of Runway magazine. As Andy learns the ropes of the company, she begins to lose herself, as well as hurt those around her. This movie is full of memorable characters, as well as relatable themes and quotable dialogues. It provides the perfect dopamine boost that can help anybody de-stress from a hard week at work. Forrest Gump. This movie follows the life of one of cinema's most beloved characters, Forrest Gump. Born with both physical and mental disabilities, Gump is a kind and gentle soul who accomplishes a lot in his life, from saving his entire team in the army to running a 3-year cross-country marathon. It also covers his romance with childhood friend, Jenny. Tom Hanks does a stellar job of portraying a character who embodies heartwarming innocence and kindness, which is guaranteed to put viewers in a good mood. Love, Simon. Love, Simon is a great addition to the LGBTQ+ movie roster. It follows Simon, a closeted gay teenager who begins communicating with the anonymous person known as Blue online, a fellow closeted high schooler who posted an anonymous confession. Throughout the movie, Simon tries to discover Blue's identity, balance his everyday life, and keeping his sexuality under wraps. This movie is a funny and heartwarming story about a high school student trying to figure out his identity. It's a great movie for anyone struggling with their sexuality since it does a great job of normalizing Simon's relationship.